Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Russell. I'm the Associate Dean International at the University of Dundee School of Business. And today we're fortunate enough to talk to the program leader for the MSc International Marketing program. And that is Stephanie Schreven. Now, I'm sure that Schreven's the wrong way to pronounce it, but can you pronounce it nicely in Dutch? Because I always enjoy it when you do that.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. My name is Stephanie Schreven. So the is a bit difficult for people that don't speak Dutch, but yeah, I'm originally from the Netherlands, where I lived until in my late 20s. And then I moved to the United States for a while to do my PhD. And then we moved to Cambridge, England to work at the Judge Business School. After that, we moved to Glasgow to work at the Adam Smith Business School, and then finally ended up at Dundee University Business School.
Okay, and so a couple of questions. So you went to the States. Where did you do your PhD in the States?
I went to Syracuse University, which is upstate New York. So it's New York State near the Finger Lakes. So it's very, very nice. Close to Canada as well. So Montreal is just across the border. Very, very nice part of the world. So yeah, that was lovely.
And then Cambridge and Adam Smith is Glasgow, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then to Dundee as well.
Indeed.
So that's very exciting. Is there somebody in your past that particularly inspired you to follow education around the world?
Not really. I just really always enjoyed being a student. I enjoyed reading and enjoyed writing. I enjoyed discovering things, and I couldn't imagine a life without doing that. So I kind of rolled into it and have never regretted it ever since. I still love it. It has its ups and downs, but overall, I think it's a really nice way to, to develop your curiosity and to satisfy your curiosity to kind of be an academic.
Okay. The other interesting thing is about business. Business is a global education set, and you exemplify that. You've got your first degree, I'm guessing, in
my first degree was my first degree. I have 2 master's degrees from the Netherlands. One is in communication and the other one is in business administration. Okay. And I just always wanted to do my PhD, and the United States is particularly, was particularly inviting at the time. Right. So, and it was just exciting to live in a different country. So we just moved across the world, and my brother is equally.
I think that's right. But I guess what I'm saying is that business is a skill set which is transferable around the world. So yes. Here you are, Netherlands, United States, back into the UK. You could be in Sri Lanka or Hong Kong or China or wherever. It's the same skill set, and English is the language, the global language of business, as it turns out. Anyway, listen, that's all very exciting. Let's start off by just asking you this straightforward question about what the purpose of the International Marketing Program is.
Well, the main purpose of the International Marketing Program is to be welcoming to students from all different backgrounds. So we really like a diverse cohort where people intermingle, that all have an interest in business, but don't all know everything about business. So you can do, you could have done any kind of degree beforehand. And we would love to have you with us to kind of pursue your degree in business and meet other people that are in the same position. So we really want to emphasize that you don't need experience in business. It's okay if you have some, but whatever you did, you'll enhance your degree and your skills by doing your degree in business, and in particular, obviously, international marketing, which is, yeah.
Of course. No, you're quite right. The whole about 40% of the students will have a business background. About 40% will have a non-business technical background, which is math, statistics, chemistry, physics, and the like. 20% will have a non-business, non-technical background. So that's music, English literature, history, and the like. But you're also right about the difference in backgrounds, because it's just amazing. It's like an MBA. Everybody's come from a different background, and you're looking at the problems as an engineer, looking at it as a statistician, looking at it as a historian, looking at it from a music background, whatever, but you bring a slightly different view to all problems, and you learn from each other as you're going along. So I agree. I rejoice.
One of the things that we're looking into as well across the disciplines and across the programs is diversity supposedly enhances creativity and innovation. So the fact that we're all different and we all have different ideas, slightly different ideas, will only improve whatever it is that we're trying to achieve. So in that sense, it's a really good way of learning new things, as well as preparing you for the real world.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, why don't I share a couple of slides on the screen, if I know how to do this. We might be lucky. There we are. And maybe you can just tell us a little bit about the structure of the program, the International Marketing Program, and then we can have a look at the pathways, the different pathways that are on the program in a moment.
So like we already said, the program is open to people that have a business background or don't have a business background. So the conversion degree suggests that both of you are welcome, very much so. There's different ways in which you can choose your pathway. So within the international marketing heading, there's different paths you can choose, if you like, towards a specific area of interest or area of specialization, as well as across different programs to kind of enhance your general skill set. And you still can make up your mind once you're here. So if you thought that you really wanted to do international marketing, but then, you know, learning more about it and learning more about the options, you feel like, you know, I think branding is more for me, then we still allow you to kind of switch to a different option. So we're not saying like, you know, you've made your choice and now stick with it. We'll give you the flexibility to kind of, you know, learn more and kind of adjust yourself accordingly. We have different starting dates. So we offer you the option to start in September, which this year will be October, and next year will be January. One of the other really cool things about the program is our summer project. For those of you who are interested, there are options and availability to do a hands-on consultancy project, which are typically with organizations across the world. So it gives you a really good sense of what it means to, you know, get your hands into or your teeth into a real life problem that you can then help solve with the knowledge you've obtained through your modules. So that's a really kind of, if you like, selling point in the sense that, you know, the students really appreciate it and enjoy it. From that point of view. And throughout, we also have, especially in international marketing degree, quite some good contacts with industry. So whenever and wherever possible, we try to get the, you know, expertise from the industry, from, you know, from practice, incorporated into your modules to make it feel real life and prepare you for real life challenges.
So that's right. You've mentioned just briefly there the flexibility at the start of the program. So you're quite right. So in that first week this year, but it's normally 2 weeks, you get to have a lecture from me about how to choose your pathway, what the strategy is to choosing your pathway and your program. You get to talk to the program leader, you get to talk to Stephanie, you get to talk to the other program leaders of the other program groups. You get to talk to the students which have come in the earlier intake, and you get to talk to the module leaders, and you find out about the modules in more detail. And then towards the end of the first week this year in September, you get to choose your modules, your pathway, and your program. And about 25% of students choose a different pathway than what they intended to come on. And you'll see what we mean by pathway. So in this case, it's international marketing or international marketing and branding. You've changed from one within the same program group. And 10% of the students change completely across program groups because they realize what else is available. But one of the really nice things is almost no students ever come back after a couple of weeks and say, oops, I'm on the wrong program, I need to change. So that flexibility is huge and incredibly valuable to all students. You've mentioned the January and September starts. The September start, you're right, is on the 5th of October. And what we're saying is if you want to come in October, then please go ahead with all of your planning and arrange to come in October. If for some reason you can't come in October, we will help you transfer your offer to January, and any associated scholarships will go with you to January as well. The other nice thing about the October start is that it's going to be delivered as a blended learning process where it's online as well. And so if you think you're just going to miss by 1 or 2 weeks or maybe 5 weeks, then you can still register online for the program for the 5th of October, and you don't miss out on any learning as you go forward. So we've tried to add as much flexibility. There is uncertainty because of COVID, but we've got flexibility to allow you to come in later intake, flexibility to be able to do some learning online so you don't miss out and then arrived just after a few weeks. And the final thing was that you did mention the global internships. These are 8-week internships in China, Vietnam, Mexico, and Manchester. Around about a quarter of the students choose to go on these internships. And as you say, it just sort of sets you up for being able to go straight into industry after you graduate. Do you want to take us through a little bit, Stephanie, about these 5 pathways, named pathways, which are on your degree certificate in the program?
So these are the options for the international marketing program. So you can do a generic international marketing pathway, which means that you're quite well spread in general courses that touch on the different aspects of marketing internationally. You can specialize. We have 2 specialized pathways, which are the second and the third option. So they're more coherently and comprehensively integrated, and there's less options. So typically on a pathway, you have certain core modules that you have to take because they're part of the pathway. And then we offer you some options depending on which pathway you take to choose from. These 2, the second and the third pathway, are a bit more comprehensive, and they are more specialized from that point of view. So there's less options for you to dip in and out of other disciplines or other areas of interest. So it's more applied, if you like, from that point of view. And so the other pathways are across our colleagues' programs. So international marketing management, if you feel that you would benefit in terms of thinking about your career plans, of having a broader overview of an organization, then you might be very well interested in international marketing and management, because it gives you that little bit of expertise that you will need to appreciate managerial decision making, working with other people beyond the direct demands of your job in terms of marketing. So we try to kind of accommodate people that have a very, very focused approach to their career and know exactly what they want to do, because it's very much, I want to do digital marketing, and people that say, well, I want to do marketing, but I want to be able to move around in an organization. So I need other skills as well that allow me to do that once I start, entering my job. So we're trying to be both accommodating to both kinds of people, the kind of that need the flexibility to have a broader horizon, or the ones that need, say, I know what I want to do because this is what I want to do all my life. So these different pathways reflect that to give you that choice.
So these named pathways, I guess, are a signal to your employer. This is all focusing on employability, that you want to be able to signal to your employer what your particular skill set is and interests are. And so we've named them in this way for that single reason, really. In the past, the 2 largest have been digital social media marketing, international marketing and branding. And just recently, all 3, international marketing, digital social media marketing, international marketing and branding, have been pretty much the same size as we go forward. International marketing and finance, international marketing and management. The management one is exactly as you say. The finance one is an interesting one. It's not the biggest pathway, but there are sizable numbers on there. And then in a sense, you're covering 2 bases. One is the finance technical side, and the other one is the creative marketing side as well, which appeals to a number of people and also appeals to a lot of employers as well as you go forward.
Yeah, because I think it's more convincing to make your case with the numbers behind you. So a finance, background or expertise will allow you to maybe advance your creative ideas better.
Oh yes, I think that's right, and it's also a very good signal to employers that you've got this sharp finance part to it all, which you're bringing to them. I think that's a very good point. You've already talked a little bit about the core and the optional modules and the project. Maybe we should talk a little bit about the project, because you can do it in 3 ways. Do you want to lead us through that, Stephanie?
Yes, so you do a big project as part of your degree, and we're trying to accommodate people that, like we said, have a more academic or research-driven ambition, and those are a bit more applied-driven, and want to get their teeth into real-life experiences, what it means to have a certain kind of job. So we have the global internship and the applied consultancy projects that are very much about your internships issues or challenges. So you have to get a feel for what the issue is that they want you to work on, and then together with the literature review that you would undertake, you would come up with some insight into the challenges, and then hopefully develop some recommendations for your internship situation that would help them move forward, and therefore you've contributed to their future success. The individual project is very much based on what really captivated you or captured your imagination during one of the modules, and you felt like, I want to learn more about this, because when I learn more about this, I will be better able to do my job whenever I leave the university. So I really want to get my teeth in the existing research. I want to see what people have done about this, how we can solve this. So it's a bit more, let's say, theory driven and literature driven, but you're still looking into an area of interest that has real implications for the business world, a real challenge that today people in international marketing or branding are working with. I have a student at the moment who does a rebranding, and she's looking at the role of color in rebranding. So she's like researching a lot of theories about, how do we relate to colors? How do we emotionally relate to colors? And how can we use that to brand something, or how can we use that to rebrand something? So it's a bit more extensive in terms of you have to read a bit more about something, but then you also get the satisfaction of getting to the bottom of something. So it just depends on where your strengths lie and where you see yourself in the future in terms of the skill set.
Yeah, so about 50% of the students will do a project, as it turns out. About 25% of the students will do an applied consultancy project, and about 25% do the global internship, which is organized by Pagoda Projects, as I say, in China, Vietnam, Mexico, and Manchester. So that's probably a good place to stop sharing these slides. And maybe before we wrap up, two things. Got two questions more for you, okay? First one is, what do you think makes the... No trick questions. We don't do trick questions. What do you think makes the program special?
I think what makes the program special are, in part, the people teaching on it. They're all people that really care for the students and care for the content of the modules. They're really, experts in their field, and they really want to make the most out of it for you and with you. So I think, among my colleagues, I think we're really good about our students, and we really, closely monitor and keep track of how you're doing, what your challenges are. So I think that makes the program special. And then the expertise that we bring to it. I think we're all, knowledgeable in what we teach, and we're constantly learning new things, keeping up with things and trying to keep practitioners involved as well. So I think that particular angle is also something that I consider a strength.
Okay, I agree. The enthusiasm really comes from the fact that the academics are research active. They get up in the morning and they just think, you little ripper, I'm off to do research into branding. Woohoo! This is fabulous. And they bring that sort of enthusiasm to the classroom with them as you go along. So my last question is that you are now growing up and old Stephanie. I'm not putting too much emphasis on the old, but growing up and old Stephanie. And what would old Stephanie say to young Stephanie as she was thinking about choosing what to do about her master's degree?
I would say choose something that you're really, passionate about. Something that you really feel like you can commit yourself to and that you're driven to achieve, and then give it your all, because, that's something that will give you satisfaction. So I think it's not something I necessarily didn't do, but I think, you don't get an opportunity to spend time on something that you're really passionate about very often. We all have to do so many things once you get a real job, that the time you spend doing your master's, you really have a chance to do something that you're passionate about and do it well and give it all the time and effort that you have, and kind of cherish that for the rest of your life, basically. So I think that's something I never really appreciated, that the time you have doing your master's, yes, you have to work hard, but you can dedicate it to something that you really care about. Yeah,
no, I think that's exactly right. The people who succeed are the ones which actually are interested in what they're succeeding in as they go forward. So I think we can bring this to a close. I've now realized, Stephanie, that you're the only person who I've ever interviewed who speaks as fast as me. So I think there's you and me who speak incredibly fast, and then everybody else is a little bit slower as they talk.
I think I've read research about this, because it's been said before, but it's enthusiasm, and partly it's, it's kind of doesn't necessarily, it's not always a bad thing. I try to slow down.
I think that's right. I'm sure people can keep up with us. All right. Listen, thank you very much, Stephanie. You've been fabulous and wonderful. This has been a lot of fun. And I hope we to see people in Dundee. If you do get to Dundee, you'll meet me very early on. Please come and knock on my door. Tell me about your story and how you got to Dundee. I will be very interested to hear it all. So we'll leave it there.
Thank you
Any
very
last
much.
words, Stephanie?
No, thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to meeting you and to working with you, and I'm sure you'll have a great time on our program.
Okay, that's fabulous. If you stay online when I stop the recording, we can talk some more afterwards. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay.
Hope to see you in Dundee.
Bye.